The number of employer pension schemes facing a funding shortfall has reached alarming proportions in the UK. In some cases, pension liabilities are larger than the company's equity market value. The BDO Pensions Advisory Group has found that a third of employers with a defined benefit scheme are struggling. Louisa Preston investigates.
BDO is the fifth largest accountancy firm in the world and has one of the leading pension departments in the UK. And it's now come up with a unique way to tackle the complex area of defined benefit schemes.
A DB scheme is where the employer has made a commitment to pay a pension based on the member's final salary. And there are 18,000 employers in that position in the UK, creating a funding shortfall of over £1 trillion.
A lot of schemes and employers are in complete denial about how they're going to fund their schemes going forward. We're very much looking at what the economics of the situation are and trying to educate people to understand the situation they're in and to provide solutions that recognise what is the best outcome for members.
BDO's solution is to start with the economics of the relationship between the scheme and the employer, which then ultimately fits into 5 distinct categories.
So Chevron 1 is, as usual, things are fine, but 1 in 5 are in that situation. Chevron 2 is where the scheme couldn't be bought out by the employer, even at a good value situation, and therefore you have to allow the employer to grow. Now, that's 60% of the country is in those 2 chevrons. But Chevron 3 is where you know you can't ever get out in full, but you can still get above the government's minimum pension levels. The key point there is we're seeing increasingly people doing PPF plus compromises, where the company says, you know what, we know it's finished. Let's maximise the member's benefits as part of a solution. That's PPF plus, Chevron 3. Chevron 4 is where the PPF are the creditor, not the scheme. They're underwriting the risk, therefore they're in charge of the process. And in that situation, they have a prescribed rule, which I actually developed and wrote back in 2005, where they go through a set 8-step process where they decide whether to back or not the turnaround in that process. And Chevron 5 is everyone lets it go and it dies. And they are quite common as well at the moment as we speak, where there's too much money lost, there's not enough advice in place, and the thing collapses. We then go into that conversation about the scheme dynamic.
BDO has built a unique team of actuaries, investment consultants, treasurers and finance experts, which allows them to provide coordinated advice and project management.
What we have here is our pension risk quadrants. These are the 4 risks that every pension scheme and company with a defined benefit pension scheme is exposed to. Fundamentally, we have the scheme liabilities, we have the employer covenant that supports the pension scheme, we have the scheme assets, the assets that are already held within the pension scheme, and we have the overriding governance and law that the pension scheme needs to operate. So within this framework, we've coined the position of the Chief Pensions Officer, the CPO. The Chief Pensions Officer is an individual or a role who has an understanding of all 4 of these areas, and they bring all 4 of the advisors to the table to design and to shape the right solution for the pension scheme and for the sponsor.
You help control your own destiny by providing the client, whether it's trustee or corporate side, or maybe overseas parent side, provide them with the right framework and the right approach to actually do the right thing.